So recently I managed to get my hands on the Bandai Tamashi Nations S.H.Figuarts The Suicide Squad Harley Quinn action figure, made with the official seal of approval for Tamashi Nations quality. And this is one that I was really excited about. Out of all the movie incarnations of Harley Quinn, this is probably my favorite look for her. Too bad she didn't wear this for very long in the Suicide Squad movie before she was popped into that red dress. I get it. The dress was more fun and whimsical. And out of the package, she looks great. I mean, I really am not disappointed by how this figure looks. She comes with an interchangeable head and 7 interchangeable hands. This is where things get a little bit weird. I mean, you can look at this picture here and you can see that there's no weapon accessories there. I thought maybe I made a mistake and left some in the box, but nope. Which is weird because she comes with all of these interchangeable hands that some of them you can clearly see they're made for gripping a gun or a hammer or something, so that kinda stinks. If I'm being honest, while we take a little peekaroo from the toes to the head, it would be nice if we had a hammer to pose in this Harley Quinn's hands to just complete the look. But, you know, it's a cool looking figure nonetheless. I am really liking how clean this figure looks. I can't look at this figure and find any places where I think that they skipped on the actual paint deco. The little Michael Jackson zippers on the side of her pants there, I mean, there's no real paint slop to speak of. All the paint has pretty much gone where it's supposed to. There's her belts there, again, painted really nice. The buckle there. This is a fantastically done figure, and you can really tell that when they put this together in the factory, they knew what they were doing. The paint stamping around her neck for her collar is very much impeccable. It's not absolutely perfect, but let's face it, that's gotta be really difficult to do. Live fast, die clown. Oh, is that her saying live fast, die clown? Or is that her saying live fast and die like as a clown? There's other neat little details too. Like right here, the texturing on the cuff of her jacket and on the shoulder. Her boots look great too. I can't imagine being able to fight in boots with a heel that big, but they're really well done. And for Harley's face here, for one, it's actually painted impeccably. I'm really impressed with this paint job. There's actually paint detail over her entire face you can see here, like the little tiny spots that are supposed to give some shading. It's that dot matrix painting or stamp painting or whatever. Either way, it does look very good, and I feel like it also does the best job of capturing Margot Robbie's face too. This is the Harley Quinn that I think looks the most like Margot Robbie. And here's the other face sculpt that you can interchange onto the body with Margot Robbie, Harley Quinn, looking very happy, very excited, very pleased with herself, I would say, elated even. And something I didn't mention on the first head sculpt was the goggles. I love these goggles. When I see these goggles, I just want to be like, when I wake up in the morning and I step outside and I take a deep breath and I get real high and I scream from the top of my lungs, what's going on? You know, it's the lead singer of Four Non Blondes, and she's got those big goggles on top of her head there. You see? Anyway, moving on. So then now, the next question to be asked is, how bendable is she? How well can you get her into poses? The articulation is always a big question, so we're going to answer that right now. You'll find that her torso actually has quite a bit of a range of motion there, and she's also got the articulation in the waist. Both are ball joint bits of articulation, and you can actually get both of them to considerably move around. Oh no, I ripped her in half. This is the thing with me, isn't it? Let's put her back together. Okay, so the ball joint popped out. Maybe I should be just a little bit more gentle with this one. The head, likewise, is also on a ball joint. And it's actually on 2, because there's obviously going to be one inside the neck, and then there's one that goes up inside the head. And that's pleasing to my eye. I like that very much. But she's also got a point of articulation right in here in the neck as well. So the neck also moves. And the arms, of course, you've got a rounded hinge here, and you've got this butterfly on the inside. Now, this is not like the McFarlane one. The McFarlane one is really just there to fill in the gap. This actually is an articulation point as well. As in, the arm is attached to a little ball joint inside of this point, and then this point itself also moves up and down and all around. I like how they did this. The wrists are obviously going to be on rounded hinges, but because she has such big, bulky sleeves that hang over, I really wouldn't expect them to do much other than spin round and round. as far as other motion, yeah, they're going to be fairly restricted. Her elbows are just little single jointies. There's a rounded hinge right there. I really would have hoped that these would have gotten a fair bit more articulation than this. But unfortunately, that really is all we're going to get as far as the arms. And while this one does kind of rotate a little bit, I don't think it's actually intended to. Because if you look up close at it, I don't think it's not round, right? It's actually a little bit more of an oval. So there is no way for it to rotate in there because it fits really, really snugly. Then, down here, we see two round ball joints that are well enough articulated for, you know, what I would need them to be. Probably, I think, what most people would need them to be. Are they drop hinges too? Let's find out. Nope. Sometimes these higher end figures will have drop hinges up on the inside. These ones are apparently not so. It's just a little T-bar on the inside. There is rotating action too, like that. No thigh cut, but they do kind of go back and forth to give a little bit more range of motion there. And her knees, they are, oh, I was expecting so much more than that. I don't think I've ever been more surprised at an articulation point in my life. Now, Harley's ankles have articulation by way of a rounded hinge, but I mean, okay, that's it. That's a very small, very pitiful amount of ankle articulation. Have no fear. There is an ankle pivot though, and toe articulation. So honestly, I feel like this is kind of a okay / maybe not so okay abysmal range of motion. I really thought that she was gonna have more. Some articulation points sing, while others just fart with the diarrhea. Now for the comparative portion, I'm just going to be bringing in a few different Harleys that I feel are relevant to comparing with this one. The DC Icons on the left is still hands down one of the best Harley Quinn figures ever made. And the Harley Quinn over there on the right, well, she's a fantastic comic book rendition of the jacket and bustier variety, just like the one in the middle. And then next we have the Bombshells Harley Quinn, and many of you folks at home saw that video, so you know how much I like this one, followed by, I call this one Roller Derby Harley. And then next, I've got her wedged in between the Mafex, Superman, and Batman. These are two of my favorite action figures of all time. I really love these figures. And now, almost more appropriately, we have Harley wedged in between S.H.Figuarts' take on a Henry Cavill and a Ben Affleck Superman and Batman, both based off of the Justice League. So now, what do I think about this Harley Quinn? We've looked at her, fiddled with her, compared her to others, checked out the quality, and honestly, I'm not entirely sure that she's worth more than, say, $40. I don't say this very often. I do like the figure very much, but she doesn't come with nothing. Just a head and some extra hands. No hammer, no gun. I mean, of course no gun, ever since Warner Brothers was like, no guns allowed in any of the toys. But come on, she should have came with something. But the figure itself does look very good. It's probably now became one of my favorite Harley figures. It'll take something special to bump the DC Icons out of first place. And we all know exactly which one that's gonna be. But this is definitely one of my favorite takes on the character. With the design, they've tried to retain the classic look of Harley Quinn while also doing a modern look for Harley Quinn. But anyway, that is my story and I'm sticking to it. Hopefully you found this video to be a useful, interesting, insightful waste of time, and I will see you with the next one. Have a DC day, everybody, and take care.